All right, how is everybody today? I'm excited about today's sermon. So I'm back, my nerves are gone, I'm good today. And today should be exciting. Today's an exciting sermon. So if you like exciting sermons, this one's for you. I do. Jesus comes in as a big hero today, right? Now, we got to do a lot of groundwork to get to 19. Today we are going to talk about the beast. The beast. So you Google, images and try to get a picture of the beast. There's a lot of cool pictures out there. This one I was drawn to. So the beast, none of them are really accurate, obviously. What is the beast? So let's do some homework. What is the beast? When John talks about the beast in Revelation, what is he referring to? Nations. Kind of. So not just the nations, because is the beast alive today? Go like this. No. It's been alive, by the time Revelation, it's been alive 6 times already on the planet. It's going to come back a 7th time. The beast is when all the nations are ruled by one government, a global government. Egypt, right, ruled the world. Rome ruled the world. The Babylonians ruled the world. Not every last hamlet, no, but pretty much, at least the known world, right? The known world was ruled by a beast, and it's not just that it's a one world government, essentially, but it's also a God-hating, God's people-hating, try to kill off God's people government, right? Always has been. So we have Egypt, Assyrians, Babylonians, Persians, Greece, and Romans, right? Paul says, and then the Rome, and then we have the future one, which is, in our text, John says, because the beast, if you go back to Daniel, he describes each of those kingdoms with an animal, right? And the animal in some way depicts that kingdom. In Revelation, John says it's a resurrected kingdom, right? It was killed with the sword, which is battle, right? It lost. It's gone forever. The Roman Empire's gone forever. The Greek Empire's gone forever. Or maybe not, because one of those or a conglomerate of those is going to resurrect, and it's going to awe the world, and it is going to be the 7th kingdom, and it's going to have the Antichrist as its leader, and he will be the 7th, really, John slips it in, the 8th king. But he's part of the 7, but he's the 8th king, and that is going to refer to the man of lawlessness in the book of Daniel, and the beast is going to come alive in our text today, and he's going to die in our text today. The beast. Last week, who died? The whore of Babylon, right? The whore of Babylon died. Who was she? She was false religion. Last week, in the book of Revelation, we learned that the beast and the false gods are going to separate. God is going to judge the fallen watchers, the demons of the world, the idols of the world, and the beast, humanity, last week we learned, throws off all religions. No more God. Just humanity. No gods. That's a scary idea, right? This week, the beast, free from the gods, is going to begin to reign. And when does that happen on a timeline during the tribulation? I'm going to say at the middle of the tribulation. The Antichrist the beast is going to come up. It's going to demand worship. It's going to put an image of itself up that all must bow to. And then a second kingdom is going to rise up, which can do miracles. And it's going to point to that image and say, that is our destiny. No gods, just humanity. We've tested that a couple times in human history, and it has not gone well. It's going to go terrible during the tribulation for people. It's going to go terrible for people. So we're going to read a little bit about the beast, and we're going to get some taste in our mouth about what it's going to be like on the earth during the last 3.5 years when all the gods are dead and humans only live by their qualities. All right, you ready? All right, here we go. So I'm jumping back into 13 because we're going to get the flavor of the beast, right? John begins to talk about him back in 13. Hear what it says. So the dragon, who's the dragon? Come on, who's the dragon? Satan. Satan is the dragon. And the sea is humanity. Satan is standing on the edge of humanity, and he's going to conjure up a beast. He's going to rally the people together to form one force to hate God and kill his people, right? Yeah, it's ugly. The dragon stood on the shore of the sea, and I saw the beast coming out of the sea. It had 10 horns and 7 heads and 10 crowns on its horn, each with a blasphemous name. The heads and horns and all of that are nations and rulers of those nations, right? We did all that homework. Go back and listen if you didn't. The beast I saw resembled a leopard. It had feet like those of a bear and a mouth like that of a lion. And the dragon, that's a conglomerate of the kingdoms of the book of Daniel. John's saying the last time we do it, we're not going to have enemies, right? So when the Babylonian Empire rose up, it had enemies, right? The Greeks wanted to kill it, right? The Persians wanted to defeat it. They eventually got strong enough to defeat it. But while Babylon reigned, they didn't have total control. They had enemies. This time, no enemies. They're all working together. It's going to be bad. The beast I saw resembled a leopard, had the feet of a bear and the mouth like a lion. The dragon gave the beast his power and his throne and great authority. The whole world was filled with wonder and followed the beast. No gods, no one praying, no false idols, no one praying to Allah, no one resisting, everyone only following government, with no gods involved. People worshiped the dragon because he had given authority to the beast, and they also worshiped the beast and asked, who is like the beast? Who can wage war now? Like, there is no more opposing force on the planet. I want you to put this in your memory, because when we get to 19, someone can wage war against it. And it's, of course, who? Jesus, right? But the people who are blind to everything but loyalty to the government go, who can wage war? Like, it's over. Like, we are it, man. The beast was given a mouth to utter proud words and blasphemies and to exercise his authority for 42 months. The last half of the tribulation, ruled by the beast. It was given power to wage war against God's holy people and to conquer them. And it was given authority. That's what makes it a beast, by the way. Remember, that is the defining thing which makes it a beast. And it was given authority over every tribe, people, language, and nation. So it's not a nation, it's a conglomerate of the nations. And then I saw a second beast coming out of the earth, and it had 2 horns, so it's smaller. 2 horns. There's 2 countries involved that go alongside this beast. And I don't understand how this beast rises up, because you have this one that's a conglomerate, except that this one, its whole job is to throw authority and praise to this one. So that's why it's allowed to rise up. And then I saw a second beast coming out of the earth, and it had 2 horns like a lamb, but spoke like a dragon. And it exercised all the authority of the first beast on its behalf. And it made the earth and its inhabitants worship the first beast, whose fatal wound had been healed. The fatal wound is that it died sometime in the past, and this is a resurrection of that kingdom. And then this second beast is the worship of humanity. So somehow this beast creates a whole new religion, and people begin to worship themselves, their own accomplishments, their own kingdom. No gods, no help. We are God, right? It's us, and this beast throws all worship to humans. It's going to be ugly. And awesome all at the same time. This is going to be a fierce, global war machine. It's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be fearsome and awesome. It's going to be everything evil in the past on steroids. And it performed great signs. This is the second beast. And it performed great signs, even causing fire to come down from heaven to the earth in full view of the people. And I don't know. I think maybe this is a euphemism. It might be real, right? This kingdom, it's not a person. It's a kingdom, right? It's two nations, two horns. And its job is to rally the worship of humans to humanity, to the government. Worship the government. That's this whole job. And this kingdom is given the power to call fire down from heaven, right? Well, maybe that's miracles, right? Maybe it can do miracles. And then I think, well, that sounds like gods. It sounds like the gods are still around. Like, what does that mean? Does that mean the presidents of these two countries can do miracles? Or is it possible that this is a euphemism, and I'm only guessing, but if it's a euphemism, calling fire down from heaven, it can do what it wants. It can accomplish all things. Maybe it has tapped the universe to pull energy. It has solved the energy problem. It can call fire from heaven. All humanity's needs are solved. No more carbon, no more pollution. It has solved the riddle. And we are now independent, self-sustaining, all-powerful humans. We don't need the help anymore. I'll bet that's close. I don't know. But it's maybe a combination of that. But in some way, whatever is given the power of this kingdom, it is driving that we need no more help. We were deluded by the gods. We, in fact, are the gods. And what will happen then when we are the gods? It'll be crazy, I'll tell you that. The emblems are going to be awesome, right? We're going to come up with some crazy emblems that are going to rally people together. Because of the signs it was given power to perform on behalf of the first beast, it deceived everyone, believed. Everyone followed the beast. Yes, humanity has finally arrived. Evolution can go no farther. We are the pinnacle. It ordered them to set up an image in honor of the first beast. You should watch the latest Mission Impossible, because this is the entire theme of that movie. It ordered them to set up an image in honor of the beast who was wounded by the sword and yet lived. The second beast was given power to give breath to the image of the first beast so that it could speak and caused all who refused to worship the image to be killed. It will know us, and it will know the rebels, and it will deal with them, right? Then the angel said to me, "Why are you astonished? I'll explain to you the mystery of the woman and the beast she rides." And now she's going to give us a little explanation. "The beast you saw, which once was, now is not, and it's going to come back again. It's not a person, it's a kingdom. And the kingdom, one of the old kingdoms, is going to come back, but it's going to be that kingdom and yet not be, because it's going to have no enemies. And it's going to come from hell, right? It's going to come out of the abyss. It's not going to, it's going to be destroyed, but it doesn't think it will be. The inhabitants of the earth, whose name have not been written in the book of life from creation of the world, will be astonished when they see the beast, because it once was, now is not, and yet will come. The world will be in awe of itself. This calls for a mind with wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 hills on which the woman sits. There are also 7 kings or kingdoms. 5 have fallen: Egypt, Assyria, Persia. I skipped one. Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, Persia, Greece. One is Rome, one's still coming. When it comes, it's all of them. The other has not yet come, but when he comes, he must remain only a little while. The beast who once was and now is not is the 8th king. He fits into the 7. He's also, so there is a leader. There is a leader behind it all, but he's not the beast. The beast is the kingdom. He's the king who rules. Every kingdom has a king, right? The 10 horns you saw are 10 kings. Watch this. This is where the gods get put to death. The 10 kings you saw, the 10 horns you saw, are 10 kings who've not yet received a kingdom, but during this time, 10 kings are going to hand their power over to the one, but who for 1 hour will receive authority as kings along with the beast. They have one purpose. They will give their power and authority to the beast. Kings will come up. I have them planned already. And what is their only job? To get elected and then hand their government over to the beast. The angel said to me, the waters you saw where the prostitute sits are peoples and multitudes and nations and language. It's the peoples of the world. The beast and the 10 horns you saw will hate the prostitute. That's last week's sermon. Who's the prostitute? The gods, the false gods. They will hate her, and they will throw her down, kill her, and burn her with fire. She's done. People will be done with gods. For God has put it into their hearts to accomplish his purpose by agreeing to hand over to the beast their royal authority until God's words are fulfilled. This is the plan of God. Why? Because God has always said, read the Psalms, read the prophets. Listen, there are so many where God is going to judge the gods. The idols and the demons of the world are going to fall. How do they fall? They fall by being rejected by their followers. But he's also, tons of text where he's going to judge the beast as well, right? The beast as well. Human pride. Read Isaiah. Human pride. The pride of humanity is going to fall. There is one Lord. There is one King. It is not us. It's not the fallen watchers. God has to, okay, this is super important. Could God just come now and just snap his fingers and blow up the earth? Yeah. Of course. Of course he could. This isn't about that. This isn't about annihilation. God doesn't want to wipe out the nations. He doesn't want to decimate all the people. The people he wants to rescue. This is a rescue plan. If the goal, he says this back in Exodus to the, like, listen, I could have started with let's just wipe out Egypt. I could have started there. That's not my goal. My goal is to win Egyptians. I did it so that they would know. How many times in this book of Exodus, look it up, it's a lot. How many times in there, I'm doing this so they will know. that there's a God in Israel, so that they will know that there's a God in Israel, so that they will know over and over and over. Again, I'm doing it so that you will worship me and you will know I'm alive, so that you will turn from the other gods. Same thing's happening here. God could wipe out the earth. That's not the goal. There's no battle. God could show up and snap. When he wants, he's just going to go down. He's going to send an angel. He's going to wrap a chain around the dragon and drag him off. He could have started with that. No, he's rescuing. He's rescuing the people. Think of it this way. I was going to say this later, but I'll say it now. Could we go into North Korea and destroy North Korea so that we would rescue the North Koreans? Of course. To destroy a nation is not the same thing as to kill all the people. It's not. Don't. But in our brain, when we read, oh, he's going to kill the nations. Oh, he's just going to kill them all. No. He's going to rescue them. This is the rescue plan. He's going to kill the nations because the nations have rised up, the kingdoms have rised up and said, we don't need God, but Jesus is the King of Kings. He gets the authority over the peoples. The peoples are rescued. The kingdoms themselves are brought down. They're not equal. Do you understand that? You can kill North Korea to rescue North Koreans. Yeah, right. So we talk like that all the time. That's how you should read these texts as well. And you'll see that when we get there. Daniel talks about the kingdoms. He talks about the future kingdom. It's all there. It's all in the Tower of Nebuchadnezzar's dream, in the statue. It's all in there. But so is this eighth king who's part of the seven. Listen to this. This makes perfect sense of that guy. Daniel 11. The king will do as he pleases. This is the king over the kingdoms, the Antichrist, if you will. He will exalt and magnify himself above the gods. Humanity. No, he isn't one of them. He's a human. He wants to be human. He's claiming to be human. He's not claiming to be a god. He is claiming to be above the gods. We threw them off. We don't need them. We are self-sufficient. He will be successful until the time of wrath is completed. He's got 3.5 years to do his duty, to do his worst. For what has been determined must take place. He will show no regards for the gods of his ancestors. Throw them away. Nor will he regard any god, but will exalt himself above them. A human, a Hitler figure, over a godless empire, a godless world. We're not just godless in the sense of, oh, they're sinning. No, a world which has consciously evaluated all the gods and thrown them off and said, we are God. Oh, man, this guy's going to be a piece of work. Instead of them, he will honor a God of fortresses, an unknown God to his ancestors. He will honor with gold and silver and precious stones. It sounds like he's still doing a God. It's a new God. It's a new ruling force. What is it? He will attack the mightiest of fortress and greatly honor those who acknowledge him. He will create a war God. A God of fortresses, an unknown God. I am greater than the gods, and we will build an army. We will conquer. Who will be able to attack? Who will be able to disobey? We have a beast over here, and he knows all about everyone on the planet, and he will make them bow to humanity. We will rise up. We will build a shield. We will call fire from heaven and bring it on any forces out there. We will face you, bow knee, or die. No gods means no truth but my truth. No gods, no truth but my truth. No authority, no accountability, but to me. And loyalty is demanded. Ooh, this will be good. A global North Korea with Hitler at the helm. It's going to be fierce, and it's going to be ugly, and it will be this. There'll be no God, so no truth. Here's the phrase. Global, tyrannical, terrifying, unrestrained, uninhibited power. We have a new God, and it's power. And who is running this power? We are. Human power. Submission, the only choice. Loyalty, the only value. And resistance, the only sin. Free speech? Free choice? No. Oh no. Oh no. Whip people into a frenzy. Can you picture all of humanity wearing the same badges? Oh yeah. Can you imagine what it would be like to not wear that badge? Oh yeah, it's going to be, you're going to hide. You're going to hide. Satan said, follow yourself and you will be like God. That's how the book started. At the end of the book, it's follow yourself and you will be God. You won't be like him. He don't exist anymore. We've thrown him off. Now you will be God. It's going to be bad. It's going to be very bad. The emperor will know all things. The emperor can accomplish all things. The emperor never sleeps. The emperor never poops, right? This is North Korea already. They worship him. But imagine it globally. Global. It's going to be so fierce. How, how, once this trance is set in, the whole world zealous, resistance gone, all rebellion, all resistance. Everyone hates resistors. Every problem on the planet blamed on the resistors, and everyone agreeing, like, what are you doing? Like, we got to kill them. We got to get them off. We have to. It's going to be crazy. Who can fight this? How? Here's the question. How? Once there are no gods and no truth and no accountability, and the governments have literally raised up humanism as the global new religion, and everyone is on board, how do you break that trance? How do you break that trance? How do you step into a movement that overwhelmingly powerful and convincing? So much so that they can call fire from heaven. How do you break in? We're going to find out. It's going to be awesome. You ready to find out? Because that guy's going down. Here it is. Here's the good stuff. This was in 17. I skipped it out. It's verse 14, and I skipped it out because, we got to save it for now. They will wage war against the Lamb, right? Here, the whole world, all the other gods are gone. And they will wage war against the Lamb, right? What does that look like? Kill the resistors. Because who's the resistor? Who's still resisting on this planet? Anyone who could possibly still be alive and be a follower of Christ. Everyone whose name was not found written in the book of life got on board. But that means there's still some who are written in the names, but there's still some. Some of us are still there. If this happens anytime soon and we go through it, it might be us. It may be your children who get to live horrible lives but be superheroes in the biblical story. But this new God of war will wage war against there'll only be one enemy. One enemy. One problem left. All other problems solved by this kingdom. One problem left on the entire planet. And the problem is the Lamb and his followers. That's going to be ugly. But the Lamb is going to triumph over them because he is the Lord of lords and King of kings, and with him will be his called, chosen, and faithful followers. We win, right? Against all humanity, against a united world with a war god and all of people worshiping the war god, we still win. How does that happen? How can that happen? It's awesome. Here's what happens. Let's read 19. Now we're jumping to 19. I saw heaven standing open. All of humanity is ready, like all problems solved on the planet, all humanity rallying together, one war god as their leader, right? And then the sky rips open. Okay, you want war? War it is, right? We're not afraid of war. War it is. We will have war. Okay, then here it comes. And the sky rips open, right? And in through the crack of the sky comes riding in Jesus. I saw heaven standing open, and there before me was a white horse whose rider was called Faithful and True. With justice he judges and wages war. His eyes are like blazing fire, and on his head are many crowns. He has a name written on him that no one knows but he himself. He's dressed in a white robe dipped in blood, and his name is the Word of God. The armies of heaven were following him, riding on white horses and dressed in fine linen, white and clean. Okay, the only enemy is out there. You got that right. And they're coming. And the sky rips open, and Jesus, wearing robes with a sword covered in blood, comes riding in with his armies. And who are those? Those are us. If we are not here for the first part of the story, we're here in the second part of the story. We get to be here either way. If you're here, don't worry. Look to the sky. We're coming. We'll be there in a second. Right exactly on time. Right when the world is the darkest, we will be here. Help is coming. Coming out of his mouth is a sharp sword which to strike down the nations. Can you strike down a nation and save the people? You can. He isn't coming to strike down the people. He's coming to crush the nations. Why? Because he's the King of kings, and all nations will bend knee. Coming out of his mouth is a sharp sword which to strike down the nations. He will rule them with an iron scepter. He treads the winepress of the fury of the wrath of God. Oh, man, you thought it was bad on earth a second ago. It's gonna be worse. And way better. And on his robe and on his thigh, so he's tatted up. He's got a robe, he's got a tribal jacket, right? He's got a coat of many colors given to him by his father. And it says, King of Kings on it. He loved it so much, he tatted it on his thigh. Boom, I'm coming. King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And I saw an angel standing in the sun who cried out in a loud voice to the birds, come, gather for the great supper of the Lord. So the birds of the earth rally to eat the death, so that you may eat the flesh of the kings and generals and the mighty of horses and their riders, flesh of all people, free, slave, great and small. And then I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered to wage war against the rider of the horse and his armies. Oh, man. Wow, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. The war machine of all of earth, all of earth. Imagine a human who has convinced himself and the world that he, as a human, not as a divine creature, as a human, is God, and he has the button for the war machine of earth. Every ship, every tank, every missile, every nuke. That is an arsenal. And heaven is unafraid. Unafraid, like those are all just things, man. Like literally, God holds the universe in his hand, not the earth. The universe. Like here, like God's like, come on, man. But that's not what we're talking about. Jesus is coming to be king. Who has to be there to make him king? People. So let's back up a little bit. Let's see. But the beast was captured, and with him the false prophet who had performed the signs on his behalf. With these signs, he had deluded those who received the mark of the beast and worshipped its image. And the two of them are thrown into the lake of fire. Not the dragon. God's not done. The dragon's not captured yet. God's letting him be free for a minute. But notice that wasn't much of a battle, right? You could imagine there is a battle, right? Other texts talk about the battle. It's Armageddon, right? The rest were killed with the sword that came out of the mouth of the rider of the horse, and all the birds gorged themselves on their flesh. So let me ask you a question. Whose blood is Jesus covered with? When you pictured that, should that make the people down there scared? It should. That should be very startling, right? This should be very, very startling. But notice, he's not covered with blood at the end of the fight. He's covered in blood before the fight begins. He comes in as the rider of the white horse, already covered in blood. Why? Because it's another thing to describe the end of the battle and to see the champion holding a sword and covered in blood. It's an altogether different picture. But when we read it, that's what it seems like's going on. But it's not the end, it's the beginning. Before a single person, before a single sword, before a single arrow is shot, the hero is already covered in blood. Whose blood? It's his own blood. He's coming as Savior. It's awesome. Look at the text where John gets this from. I've referenced it before. This is full cycle, by the way, full circle. We are back to chapter 1. One of our very first sermons in this whole series was showing you that John opened up the book of Revelation with Zechariah chapter 12. This is Jesus. How does Jesus introduce himself in chapter 1? I am he who was dead, and I am now alive. I am the living one. I was dead. How did he die? A little bloody? Pretty bloody. Pretty bloody. I was dead, and now I'm alive. And when I show up, here's what John quoted in chapter 1. Remember this sermon? The whole world will see me, and they will mourn on account of me. That's Zechariah 12. And it's the great passage when all of unbelieving Israel sees the returning Messiah at a great end-time battle, and they see him to be Jesus, and they all stop fighting, and they go, oh my gosh, Jesus was the Messiah. And they lay their weapons down, and they bow knee to Jesus. And John, in chapter 1, applied that text to the whole world. This is the scene. We're finally at the scene. Jesus, I asked you, what could possibly break the trance of a world which is totally Nazi'd up in global power rage and unified against God and only worshiping humans? What could break that trance? Truth and love. Truth and love. There are no gods. There is no truth. There is no accountability. Oh, wait, isn't that Jesus? Wait a minute. I think I'm looking at Jesus, which is interesting because it says they're going to see him, the one they pierced, and I'll read it in a second, but they're going to see him as the pierced one, which is weird because when Jesus appeared after the resurrection to the disciples, none of them recognized him. Was he covered in blood when they saw him? He wasn't. He was covered in white because they saw him get pierced. And what they had to wrestle with was that he's alive, right? So he looked alive, and they didn't recognize him. Now the world denies his death, and Jesus is going to be alive, but look dead. Watch. Zechariah 12 through 14, edited down. A prophecy, the word of the Lord concerning Israel. The Lord who stretches out the heavens, who lays the foundation of the earth, who forms the human spirit within a person declares, I am going to make Jerusalem a cup that sends all the surrounding peoples, nations, reeling. Judah will be besieged as well as Jerusalem. They're going to be surrounded. On that day when all the nations of earth are gathered against her, they go to make war against God. Remember, maybe you don't remember. Let me remind you that when the Antichrist, when the beast finally declares itself and declares no God, Jesus even said, listen, when you see the sign, when the image goes up, run to the wilderness, and I will take care of you. Where's the wilderness? Right outside Jerusalem. Run to the wilderness. I will take care of you for how long? 3.5 years. You're going to be safe. So believers have run to this safe place outside of Jerusalem, and they're in a bubble, and the world, as it rallies against God, can't get into that bubble. God is feeding a manna in such things. Imagine the rage of the world against that bubble. Everything is designed to break in and kill them off. On that day, all the nations are gathered together against her. I will make Jerusalem an immovable rock for all the nations. All who try to move it will injure themselves. On that day, I will make the clans of Judah like a fire pot in a woodpile, like a flaming torch among sheaves. They will consume all the surrounding peoples, nations, right and left. But Jerusalem will remain intact and in her place. On that day, the Lord will shield those who live in Jerusalem, so that the feeblest among them will be like David, and the house of David like God, and the angel of the Lord going before them. Oh, it's going to be awesome. On that day, while it's set out to destroy the nations, not the people. God could do that, and the people would be gone. He wants to save the people. Watch, it's right in the text. And I will pour out, what? Wrath and anger and hatred. No. I will pour out on the house of David and the inhabitants of Jerusalem a spirit of grace. I'm not here to kill people. I'm here to break the powers that are holding you. I'm here to show you what you can. I'm here to break the trance. Right? I'm going to snap you out of it. They will look on me, the bloody one, the pierced one, the one riding in already covered in blood, the one they pierced, and they will mourn for him as one mourns for an only child, and grieve bitterly for him as one grieves for a firstborn son. That is what Jesus is. He is an only child and a firstborn son. On that day, a fountain will be opened up. There is a fountain filled with blood. It is Emmanuel. It runs from Emmanuel's veins, right? We know this song. And the inhabitants of Jerusalem to cleanse them from sin and impurity. They don't know Jesus. They don't know Jesus till this moment. John takes this text. This is clearly Jerusalem, 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 but it's Zechariah. John takes this text and in chapter 1 applied it to the world. The world. Jesus is going to ride in, covered in blood, followed by who? His armies. The holy ones. Who are they? That's us. On that day, I will banish the names of the idols. No more idols. Yep. So, same context. They will be remembered no more. Yep. It'll be me and humanity. It's all that'll be left, declares the Lord Almighty. Then the Lord will go out and fight against the nations, not people, as he fights on a day of battle. On that day, his feet will stand on the Mount of Olives, east of Jerusalem. On the Mount of Olives will be split in two, east to west, forming a great valley, and you will flee. What is he there to do? He's there to protect you. Who's going to run? The people he's rescuing. Where are they going to run? The Lord my God will come, and all his holy ones with him, and on that day, living water is going to flow out. What is living water in the Bible? It's the Spirit of grace. Living water is going to flow out, not death. No, living water there's going to be death. There's plenty of death, because not everyone is going to be happy Jesus is here. But much of humanity who's lived in a trance, convinced by the false prophet that there are no gods and that humans are all we need, are going to see Jesus come rolling in an age when there is no God and no truth and no accountability. Jesus, the truth, is going to ride in. What are they going to see? They're going to see the one who was dead, who is alive. Truth is going to hit them in the face. Wait. You told us there was no gods. You told us this was false. Who's riding behind them? Grandma and Grandpa. Wait. I know some of those people. We killed them. for believing in Jesus. Jesus is alive. That's my grandma on that horse. Like, do you know what that means? That means there is truth. The promises of God have come true. They're not dead, they're alive. Those are people. We know those people. We might be calling, hey, I'm alive. Look at me, man. Look at me. I don't even like horses. The world, God is going to force the world. He's going to shock them with truth. The dead one is alive. And his promises have come true for all who follow him. His word, there is truth, and there is accountability, and it's now, right? Choose. God gives the world a choice at the very end. It's awesome. He said he would. The Lord will be king over the whole earth. He's not here to kill all the people. He's here to destroy the nations. He's here to shock the people, to win them as much as he can. Will all be convinced? No. The rest will die. But a lot are going to bend knee. The Lord will be king over the whole earth, and on that day there will be one Lord, and his name the only name. Right? Awesome. Listen to Isaiah chapters 62 through 64, edited down. But you should read them all. Pass through the gates, prepare the way for the people, build. Notice it's not peoples. Don't make way for the nations, but make way for who? People. Make way. This is what John called out in the wilderness. Make way, raise up the valleys, bring the mountains down, make the way to God easy, make it a smooth path. Pass through the gates, prepare the way for the people. Build up a highway, remove the obstacles, make it unbelievably easy to get back to God. This is an end times passage of the end of the world. Remove the stones, raise a banner for the nations. We're going to even turn the nations back to the king. The Lord has made proclamation. Where? To the ends of the earth. Say to daughter Zion, see who's coming? The Savior's coming. See, his reward is with him, his people, and his recompense accompanies him. I want you to notice as we read this text how mixed the metaphors are. This sentence is death. This sentence is salvation. Death, salvation. Choose, man. Remember when we read, where does Joel say he's taking the end of the world at the Battle of Armageddon? To the valley of decision. Right? It's it. Like, do you think you need me? Yes? Come on. To everyone, it's available. If you don't, follow the beast, pick a side. But there'll be no ambiguity left anywhere. They'll be called, the peoples, will be called the holy people, the redeemed of the Lord. And you will be called, Jews, sought after, the city no longer deserted. Here we go. Here's your picture. Who is this coming from Eden, from Basra, with his garments stained crimson? Who is this guy already covered in blood? Who is this guy with stained garments? Who is this robed in splendor, striding forward in the greatness of his strength? It is I, proclaiming victory, mighty to what? Mighty. Who's this riding in, covered in blood? It's me, and I'm mighty to save. Our Jesus shows up. My Jesus. Not the hater of people. Not the one who wants to kill everything. The one who wants to save everything. The one covered in blood. He rides in covered in blood. Oh, he's going to have other people's blood on him by the end. But he's first going to let them come in and see this guy. It's prophesied. Isaiah told us. Why are your garments covered in red? A second ago, he came in wanting to save. Nah. Like those one treading a winepress. You're dripping. I have trodden the winepress alone. Watch the mixed metaphors. Did Jesus die alone? From the nations, no one was with me. I brought salvation all by myself. By the way, if you read the Gospels, that's why the disciples fell asleep in the garden, fulfilling this text. Jesus asked for help. He answered. This is why Jesus gets no help when he prays. If there's another way. No. You have to be alone, man. You have to come alone. This is a task only you. You cannot be helped in this task. You can't be prayed through it by your disciples. They have to disappoint you. Why? Because only I can bring salvation. It's a beautiful text, and all those are super important reasons. I have trodden the winepress alone from the nations. From the nations, no one was with me. I trampled them in my anger, and I trod them down in my wrath. Wait a second. A second ago was salvation. Now it's some have to die. Not everyone. Their blood splattered my garments, and I stained all my clothing. It was for me the day of vengeance, the year of redemption. Like there's both sides of the coin. Like, I'm here to redeem, but this is your last chance. Like clearly, it's like, this is it. It's so obvious. If you still choose the beast, you got to die, man. You got to die. Then we're going to war. But you can bend knee right now. I don't care what you have done. I don't care how loyal. I know every one of you have been convinced. But it's still not too late. That's my Jesus right there. Both are going to happen on this day. I looked, but there was no one to help. I was appalled that no one gave me any support. So my own arm achieved salvation. Now we're back to salvation. Wait, what is it? What are you here to kill or are you here to save? I'm here for both. I'm here for both. Like, God is righteous, judgment's coming. God is love, salvation is here. You choose. My own arms achieved salvation for me. My own wrath sustained me. I trampled the nations in my anger. In my wrath, I made them drunk and poured their blood on the ground. Yep, they're dying too. But who is? The people? Nations. It's always accurate. It never confuses it. You can kill North Korea to save North Koreans. And God can kill the nations to save its people. Oh, that you would rend the heaven. Oh, that you would tear open the sky, you rider who's coming in blood, you who is coming stained already in blood. Oh, that you would rend the heavens and come down, that the mountains would tremble before you. As when fire sets twigs ablaze and causes water to boil, come down and make your name known to your enemies. Who are the enemies? The people. But what's the goal? Come down and destroy the people? No. Come down and make your name known. What's his name? King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And it's on his robe, and it's tatted on his thighs. And the one who looks like he was slain, speared, pierced, thank you, pierced, all the poles. The one who looks like he was pierced is alive. Come down and make your name known to your enemies and cause the nations to quake. Save the people, make the nations run and bow knee. The beast is dead. The king is alive. That's who we are. That's us. This is our heritage. This is our bloodline. This is what you should be about. This is what your life right now should be about. Jesus will go to all ends, bearing all weight, spending all the money, spending all the time, spending all the energy to save people, to save people. It is time for you to enjoy your life in the kingdom. Now we work. Now we work. You don't work for your life now. We have a life coming. That's chapters 21 and 22. We get to live forever with the people you love. You have time. You're not getting old. You're just running out of time. There's work to do. There's only one thing to do. It is not make money. It is not run away from people to the mountains. It is not to disengage, to pull back. The earth is getting dark. It's going to get really, really dark. We can still fight while there's light. We can save people before they accidentally die in darkness. We don't want that. You should be about one thing, all your energy, all your prayer life, all your resources, all your time, all your energy should be learning how to use the weapons of God and getting your life engaged. You should spend time every day talking to God about how you can be more effective in your realm. You all have a realm. You all have a circle of influence. You all have resources and skills to bring to bear into that circle of influence. You all have jobs and employees and co-workers and children and grandparents. You all have voices. You all have the text. You have nothing holding you back. Literally, there is nothing in your way except your own darkness. Put it off. Get into the fight. We will, for the age to come, sit around and bear testimony of our lives. We will tell stories of the people we rescued, the help we gave, the sacrifices we made. We will stand up and give honor and glory. We will walk an aisle and get badges and rewards from God Himself, praise from the God of gods for our faithfulness. Give it up, sacrifice, be focused. There's no other job. There's no other task. There's no hobby more important. Your money, can you not be hungry? Who cares if you're a little hungry? Like, none of us are hungry, man. None of us are hungry. We have all we want. But this message preaches in every situation in this planet. Can you not go without for the victory of the King? Can you not wait for the spoils of war? The day is coming when we just revel for ages in the victory of the King. But we're the sons of God. We're the only hope in the world today. We're the hope. What do you possibly do that's more important than that? What do you possibly read that's more important than getting more familiar with the text so that you can share it? What conversations are you having with people that are more important than inviting them to church? Inviting them to, introducing them to their King? There's none. We win. We do not have to be afraid or ashamed. But you will want to have been engaged in the fight. You'll want it. I'm telling you as your pastor, you will want this. On this day, you will want to have been found working. When the owner of the vineyard returns, Jesus said it, you will want to be found working. Work. Work, brothers and sisters. Spread the light. Do what you can. As small as you can, do a little more. Small as you can. Read a little more. Be a little more brave in your conversations. Be a little bit more stand up in your character. Do some work on your soul. This is going to be glorious, and we will share in that glory. Let's pray.